don't change anything if it still works. Imagine Google Maps never upgraded. The time for change happens when you're in your best state. So here we are, just seconds for me, but maybe a week for you, hopefully less. To connect on my previous topic, when I joined the team as a product designer, it was like a blast of experience for me, but it was also a blast of dealing with the imposter syndrome, because at the same time they employed another colleague of mine who was more senior than me. So when we started working together, I was believing I'm gonna learn so much from him. But here's the thing. This was my expectation, that I just tagged on someone, when in reality it's very difficult to put expectations on something that you don't know. So this just like goes throughout life, and it definitely went for me in that sense. So I had this expectation from this colleague, and then when we started to work, I kept noticing that he's one of these designers who always like to take it in the standard way, this is the way of the current market in the last, 5 to 10 years. So we should definitely go for the same. And I'm the guy who always challenges things, and I like to try new things. Like, once again, how Luckynote came to exist is like a completely different mindset shift of like, I want to save stuff and I want to pick it up later when I want. So it's not like I need to organize, decide, and all that stuff. And it reflected there in the company as well. So after some months, I started realizing that every time when I challenged some situation, then it was like a big disagreement between us and all that stuff. But ultimately, we ended up on the suggestion I gave, because I always came from a challenging stance, because the company was new. It was also a startup. And I wanted to introduce something new to the customers, even though the market was, let's say, very old in that sense of like some standards existing for, well, decades. That doesn't mean that the design shouldn't change. Like there should be improvements, definitely. Like, imagine Google Maps never upgraded, or any kind of operating system just like stayed the same throughout the years. It's like, just because it works now doesn't mean it's gonna work in the future. That's an interesting fact, because the completely opposed stance works in Germany, and that was a difficult thing for me to overcome. Don't change anything if it still works. So in a way it makes sense, right? Like you're having a motorbike that works, and you're like, oh, it works, I'm not gonna change anything. But where is the place for progress? How are you gonna figure out if there's like a better version of a motorcycle? Or maybe if we didn't go from like a bicycle to motorcycle, we would never get to a car. Things like that. Cars, I think they came before motorbikes.
That's for sure.
Not for sure, but just saying. The concept is like, you will never think of a next thing that might be better if you don't try the next thing in the first place. So yeah, that was a challenge for me, because I was every day challenged with this sentence, like, yeah, but this works, why do we need to invent something new? And again, I'm not one of these guys who are like, oh, now we need to invent completely new wheel. No, I mean, once again, with Luckynote, it's not like some novel way of like you're writing something with your fingertips and then, I don't know, you're saving it and it's magically something. No, it's just the concepts that work in a new way. So that's why it's like, okay, why don't you just message yourself information and then display it as notes and upgrade those notes? Let me show you what Luckynote can do today. So this is what you'll see when you open Luckynote on the desktop. So it's basically a chat-based user experience like any other, like Telegram or WhatsApp, and you just write yourself messages. The difference is that for every message in Luckynote you can add more information, and then you can expand it with images, files, and you can even convert to have a task or to create it as a star. So now all your messages become like a hub for any additional information that you add on, and then you can later move it to any kind of folder that you create. The neat feature is that you can also bookmark any page, or you can save anything without downloading it to your computer. And yeah, now it's going to take some time, so there you go. Now we have an image directly in Luckynote, as well as the URL itself. So all the information that you see here, later in the future, you don't necessarily need to remember everything what you saved, but you can remember the type. So for example, if you know that, let's say this one we created as a task, so anything is a task, and we say, okay, I know that it was a link and it was a task, so now everything that's a link and a task, it will be displayed here. So hope you liked what you see. If you have any ideas, maybe some comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And yeah, so it took me some time to just, let's say, settle in that this is the mindset that I'm surrounded with, and I'm just gonna give my best, and not really persuade them, but explain them why this is also the way to go. And then we were doing a lot of A/B tests, and then usually there you can easily see what is also going to work. The main part is do not be afraid to try something new. And there's another lesson that I learned recently. The time for change happens when you're in your best state. A lot of people wait things to tumble down to then change things. When you're in your best, is there something better? Because you're already in your best state. You can go down, but then you're gonna work from a different mindset. You're gonna work from a scarcity mindset, in the sense of you're now burnt out, you're barely making it, and you need to invent something new. So there's like 3 things at least that you need to tackle to get to the next step. While when you're in your best, you're already in your best energy, and now you're focusing on what can go beyond this. So it's 2 steps less for you to reach some new area, and then you just keep building on top of that. So I'm not saying it's easy to do this, and I'm not saying that like the changes always need to come all the time on top of the best one, but always be open for something new to come, and try to explore these things. So this is the part that I want to share in this video, and there's an interesting story behind the next one that I'm also looking forward to share, from the same room, from the same chair. And see you in the next one. Cheers.